What's up, fans, viewers, and listeners? Welcome to another exciting episode of Fight Inside Podcast. I'm your co-host for today, Rain Cruz, also known as Ringside Rain, ring announcer for Up Next Fighting. And with me, as always, is Timmy B. Before we get things started, please take a moment to follow and subscribe to Fight Inside Podcast to stay updated for news and our episodes online. Also, today, we are honored to talk with a fighter who is inspiring people all over the world with her battle outside the cage. We will discuss Timmy B's debut to FLA 11, champion Sean Strickland, ranked bad words, and a whole lot more. So, what are we waiting for? Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Inside Podcast.
No glitches there today, Rain. Our guest is a female fighter out of Mexico who I first saw at a Canadian event. It was about a year ago, Palace Athena. She looked ferocious, and I knew that she would be a star. I started following her on social media. I was very shocked and saddened when she announced a little while after that she'd been diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was devastating to me. I was amazed when I saw Sean Strickland, now champion Sean Strickland. He dedicated one of his fights against Magomedov to her. And I was like, oh, that's beautiful, you know? And then I was super thrilled. She was documenting her progress on Instagram. And I was so thrilled when she recently shared that her chemo was successful. She was now cancer-free. I'm even more honored and privileged that she's here to join the podcast today so that we can talk about her. She seems like such a wonderful individual. Rain, let's welcome to the podcast
Maria Jose Majo Favela.
Hello, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, Maria, how are you today?
I'm really good. Super happy. What about you guys?
Not bad, not bad. We're all over the world today. I'm in Toronto, Canada. You're in Mexico City, and Rain is in beautiful California. She just got back from
Disneyland.
Okay,
Yeah.
You went to watch the fights?
No,
she's
just hanging out with Mickey Mouse in Disneyland.
Oh, sorry, I understand New Zealand.
Hey, I wish. Maria, congratulations to you on all your life going forward. I mean, you have been such an inspiration on everything. And I'm so happy that you're here. I did want to say, like I was saying in the intro, I saw you at Palace Athena, and I was watching that card, and I was like, this girl is crazy. This girl is a killer. And I was watching you. Your MMA career has been great so far. I can't wait to see it continue. But for the people that don't know Maria, can you tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your story?
Yes, for sure. I'm a Mexican fighter, and I used to train in Tijuana with Brandon Moreno and a lot of MMA fighters now in the UFC. We used to be teammates. And then I moved to Las Vegas, and I become teammate with Francis Ngannou, Sean Strickland, Misha Tate, Tatiana Suarez, Jocelyn Edwards, a lot of big people, big names, and big partners, especially for training. But unfortunately, I was getting ready for one fight for Invicta, and I was start to feel funky, like I was start to feel tired. I couldn't sleep very well, a lot of pain on my chest, cough, and everything. And I had to pull out because I couldn't breathe anymore. It was impossible for me to breathe during trainings. And I had to take the decision to come to Mexico to find a doctor because, as you know, as fighters, if we are not in the cage, we don't have insurance, sorry.
Right.
And so for me, it was totally impossible to afford for a doctor in the United States. So I came to Mexico, and I visited at least 5 doctors, and they were telling me it was COVID side effects, or it was COVID again. And I was handling with this since November, but they told me it was COVID, so I was like, okay, it can happen. But in February, I was like, okay, that's a lot of time. What I'm still feeling like this? What I still can't breathe? It's impossible to be COVID. And February, March, April, May. In May, I start to had a lot of fever. Like, I don't know. I use Celsius. It was 39 Celsius. I start to cough and I spit blood. I had a lot of pain on my body. I was shaking. I couldn't breathe. I can even hear my breathing, like my breathing, like it wasn't totally capable to get it.
Mm.
And my oxygen level was 82, and in a human, the minimum is 90.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go to the emergency room because I was bad in that situation. And when I went to ER, the doctors there, he's a great doctor. His name is Alejandro Garcia. I don't know, but he was kind of, he already know what do I have when I start to say my symptoms. And they took me to MRI and then discovered the lymphomas in my body. But they wasn't sure if it was cancer yet. Cancer yet. They wanted to make a biopsy first because I have a lymphomas in my neck and in my chest, and then almost all of them were here in my chest, here in this part. So they were putting a lot of pressure on my lungs. So my lungs were blocked at 95%. So I was too close to have a heart attack
Oh, wow.
because my heart was working so hard because it was trying to make my body to have more oxygen because my lungs were blocked. And they made me a biopsy like at 3 a.m. because they really wanted to see what was going on, but they couldn't give me any medicine to make the swelling go away because they need a certain type of size of the lymphoma. So it was something like hard and fast. And after 5 days at the hospital, they told me, you know what, we found it's cancer and it's a Hodgkin's lymphoma classic. Now we need to see a PET scan to see where is it. And they told me I was a stage 3B, almost 4, because it was on my chest, on my neck, and my hips and my liver. So it was kind of advanced. And the doctors told me like everything's gonna depend how you react to the treatment. So if you don't react well, it's like stage 4. So there's nothing else to do. But if your body reacts very well to the chemotherapy, it's gonna be stage 3. And thanks God, the doctor told me my body reacts very, very good and great to the chemotherapy because he told me you're an athlete, you eat healthy, you have muscle. The muscle is really important, especially when you are under cancer treatment. It's what
Yeah.
keeps you alive.
Oh,
And thanks God, I was responding super, super very good. And when I took my first PET scan, then my doctor told me like, guess what? I was like, what? We don't see cancer anymore in your body, like because they inject kind of like a radioactive sugar in your blood.
mm-hmm.
So the cancer cells react with that sugar. So they turn like light. So in that scan you can see the cancer cells. And they show me the first one I was totally covered with lymphomas everywhere. And then the last one I had no lymphomas anymore. And the description says like they don't see any metabolic movement in my body. That means like there is no more cancer cells. So
Crazy.
yes, I was so nervous because at the beginning when they took that test, it's kind of weird because they inject that thing on your body and they lock you in a dark room because you can't have any, how do you say in English? Stimulus? I don't know, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
lights or nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing can. You have to be like in a dark room for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's hard because imagine like it's only you
In the
thinking
dark.
about cancer in a dark room, waiting. You have no phones, no magazine, no nothing.
Right.
You're just waiting in the dark room.
It's so
And I
scary.
was kind of scared, like, what if it doesn't work? What if I have to say goodbye? Why, I don't know. And I was asking to the guy to do the test, like, hey, what you saw? He was like, hold on, we don't have the results yet, but we took an MRI too, and we don't saw nothing. Like, we can see that there's nothing there. So I was kind of happy, and then my doctor called me at the evening, at like almost in the night, and told me, like, guess what? We think you don't have cancer anymore. So I want to see you tomorrow here at the hospital, because we're gonna check the results, the final results, and see. And that's what he told me, like, you don't have cancer anymore. But we have to finish the treatment. I still have to do 5 more chemos because we want to prevent that comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still under chemotherapy treatments. They're horrible, but It's a kind of hate love because the chemotherapy saved my
It's
life,
doing it. Yeah.
but it's horrible.
Yeah. But Maria, I'm so happy for you. That it's crazy to hear this story because like it's happened really like so quickly. Like you're
Yeah.
talking like March, April, May of this year. And then here
Yeah.
we are just in September, and you've gone through this whole crazy experience. You've been documenting it all on your social media, you know, because like I
Yeah.
said, because I was a fan of yours. And then
Thank you.
I'm watching it, but you've been so brave and so honest on your Instagram. And that's what like I would show my wife all the time. I'm like, look, like Maria's getting better, or Maria's what, like, you know, and my wife is there, and we're all we're cheering for you, and we're seeing you
Thank
go
you.
through this. I know, like I said, I'm going to play this little clip because I didn't know, like all I knew was you were some Mexican girl that fought in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Right. And then when I saw this, I was so shocked.
I want to dedicate this fight to Maria. She's a teammate fighting cancer. She's in Mexico. She's awesome.
Maria,
Oh.
Maria, that, and then I knew right away, like he said it quickly, and I'm like, that's got to be the Maria I know. And at that time, Maria, everybody thinks Sean is the worst guy in the world, you know? But to me, when I saw that, I'm like, this guy's a good guy.
He is. He's my teammate, and everybody thinks he's a lunatic or crazy guy, but he's such an amazing friend. He's a true friend. Like he's like, you look fat. I'm like, who the hell asked you? Like, if I wouldn't be your friend, I wouldn't tell you that you're looking fat. So you're like, okay, you got a point.
How, you know, just on a quick side note, how happy are you that Sean won the championship yesterday?
I almost cried. I'm so happy for him because when he said about my friend Maria, I started to cry when I saw that.
Aw.
And then when I saw him, I'm gonna be honest, Israel is my favorite fighter.
Oh, don't say that. I'm going to have to edit this out. I don't want Sean to see this.
No, he is. He's my favorite fighter, but Sean is my homie. He's my friend. He's my brother
Yeah.
from the team. And when I saw he was breaking easy mentally and his game, I was so impressed because Sean was going forward all the time, and Easy couldn't land anything. It was Sean who was landing everything.
No.
And when he won, I was so happy for him because I see him at the gym. I saw him at the gym all the time, training, helping the training partners, beating people, but at the same time helping people. And he's such a nice guy. He's always he was always checking on me all the time. Like, hey, how you been? How you feel? Well, any news? Come on, you can do it. And honestly, saw him win the belt makes me feel so happy for him.
Yeah. Is it all thanks to you, Maria? Have you been training him? When he was fighting Izzy, he looked a lot like the way you fight. He was just aggressive. Is it all thanks to you?
No.
No.
I did want to say another one of your teammates that gave you a shout out. They messaged me to say how wonderful you are. Is this person here? He's been on the podcast before, but there's Mr. Sadibu. He says that you are the most wonderful person, and he wanted me to tell you how great you are, and that he's so happy for you as well. So I know you're surrounded by such great people, and I know that you said that the fight community was really supportive of you as well, and I think that's wonderful to shout out too. So can you explain how the fight community was like rallying around you and helping you?
I was at the hospital. I was kind of bad, and when the doctors told me, because my mom asked like, "Hey, doctor, how much is this gonna cost? Because we don't have insurance." And
Right.
he said like, "Well, only the investigation process it's like $1 million pesos. It's like $75,000."
Oh, wow.
And plus, we have to think about if she don't need an bone marrow transplant, or if this chemotherapy doesn't work, we're gonna have to use the other one who costs like $5,000. And they say like if everything's gonna be okay, maybe it's gonna be like a 2 million pesos, like 140,000 pesos dollars. Sorry. So I was kind of scared, like I don't want to die. Like I can't afford it, but what I'm gonna do? I don't want to die. I want to leave. Because as you see in Mexico, the government situation and the health system, especially in these kind of countries, there is no medicine, there is no space. There's a lot of people with no jobs who are looking for health system, but the health system it's like overflowed. It's hard. Like I've been
Yeah.
trying to get a treatment from the government, and imagine it's been 4 months and I don't receive any, like not even one ibuprofen, like nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I've been trying and trying and trying, and I have to go to the hospital all the time and go there, being for hours, the whole evening there waiting for the doctors and nothing. Well, I remember I sent a message to Cynthia Calvillo because my really good friend. She's my comadre. And I was like, Cynthia, please help me to create a GoFundMe
Yeah.
because I don't want to die. I wanna find a way to get my chemotherapy as soon as possible because the doctor told me you have 3 weeks to receive treatment. If you don't start with the treatment in 3 weeks, minimum, maximum, you're gonna be in crisis again. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
be allowed to breathe again, and we're gonna have to restart everything again. So she created GoFundMe, and she started to make it to share the GoFundMe. I started to share it too, and I was sending him to Volkanovski, Jair Rodriguez, Alexa Grasso, boxers like Oscar Valdez. I was sending the GoFundMe everywhere, like even Wiz Khalifa because he followed me on Instagram. I was like trying to, I was burning all my shots,
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
and everybody like Amanda Nunez, they answer. Chris Curtis, Sean Strickland, my whole community from Extreme Couture, the people from the PI, even Dana White, and yeah, we're fighters, we're savages. We punch each other in the face for money, but at the same time, we know what we have to struggle from each one.
Mhm.
We have different
Yeah.
stories, but we struggle in something. Because I think MMA is the sport of the second chance.
Mhm.
Because we have different stories, and I love the way everybody shows support from different countries, from different teams, from different sports. They show a lot of support to me, and that proved me that we are a great, small, and beautiful community. It doesn't matter if we trash talk, if we punch each other, if we see there is somebody in a bad situation, we're gonna jump for that person, and we're gonna try to find the way to help that person because we know that if he's struggling, we've been struggling too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think too, because we have to support each other.
I'm so happy for it. Maria, it's beautiful. And I'm so happy that the story went well and that things are looking up for you. I was so happy because I knew that you were getting better, but then all of a sudden on your Instagram, you started posting the photos of you back at Extreme Couture and training and,
Yeah.
and striking again. So I'm very happy to see that you're feeling healthy. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago, you were out in Paris helping to
Yes.
corner Ms. Edwards, I believe.
Jocelyn, yes.
Jocelyn Edwards, yeah. So I was very happy for that. I mean, I guess my question is like, how incredible is it for you to then be back there doing that? You know what I mean? From everything that you saw in this last year, and then be back at a UFC event cornering your friend. Like, crazy.
It was amazing. When I went to Stream Couture, I don't even say to anybody that I will go because I wanted to be a surprise for my team.
Oh.
And only Jocelyn knows that I'll go to Extreme. And when I get in, I remember I started to hug my coaches and my teammates, and I started to cry. I remember Satibu, he was running in the treadmill, he was cutting weight, and when he saw me, he was like, "Oh, Maria!" He jumped from the treadmill, and he was sweaty, and I was and I was dry, and he just hugged me, and I was like, "Hey, let's take a picture. I'm on ball too. Let's take a picture." And and I remember Manel Capet too. He was like, "You're our champion. You're back. How you feel?" So Stringland too, because he's always like, women's hormonal. You're always crying, blah blah blah. And when I say some words from the team, like I was so thankful for them, with them, because without their prayers or without their help, I wouldn't be alive. And I started crying, and he was like, "Yeah, we miss you." And I was like, I was waiting for Stringland to say like, come on, you're crying again or something. But no, he's such a great friend. And all my teammates I was so happy to be there because I feel like they become my family by choice. And
Yeah.
when I took Paris with Jocelyn, I was happy too because I had a lot of friends from the UFC staff, especially because they work at the PI. And they were so happy too, like, "Hey, Maria, we're happy to see you. is it Polar Bear too? Who else? Michael Chiesa too. Because yeah, we have the same manager, and they were following my story, and then but at the same time, I was kind of sad too because remember we were at the dress room, and I was seeing Jocelyn and this new girl, Jacqueline. I don't remember her last name. She's from Portugal. It was her
Hmm.
debut. I feel like a little bit. I felt like a little bit sad because I saw her like ripped and jacked and warming up and getting ready for a fight, and I start to think if I'm gonna make it to the UFC, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna make it here. Like I still feeling that I'm a fighter because the doctor told me like you can go if nothing get worse, you can get back to compete in 7, 6 months. But I can see that how the people look at me like if I wouldn't be an athlete anymore, and that hurts
Mhm.
because my body's swollen because I've been taking a lot of liquid because the medicines, the dexamethasone shot, the chemotherapy. Like I used to train 7, 8 hours a day. Now I can train a few days every 15 days because chemotherapy just put me in bed,
Mhm.
and my body changed right now, and I see me at the mirror and I feel like where's Maria? So where am I? I don't have hair. I don't have my athletic body anymore. And now I can see my teammates training and growing and fighting, and I'm start to think if I'm gonna make it. That's hard. That's really hard. That was the hard part for me because my biggest dream and my biggest goal is to step into the cage of the UFC, like fight for the UFC, and and being there cornering outside of the cage is like I really want to be there. I
Yeah.
want to be there so bad. And I have something that makes my body make my prison. That's how I feel when I
Mhm.
got cancer. No matter how much I want it, my body is not allowed to do it.
Right.
So that was the hard part. But at the
Maria,
same time, I'm still pushing myself because what the doctor said, like I can compete again in the future. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Nobody's gonna die. I have to do it.
yeah. Maria, if anybody is an inspiration or if anybody is in need of motivation, like they just look at you. You will do
Mhm.
it. There is no doubt in my mind. I've seen you in interviews talking about the Mexican fighting spirit that you have. And I mean, nobody embodies it more than you. Like, I can't believe that I'm talking to you here. I can't believe the videos that I saw of you training. You say that your body is not what it used to be, sure, but you're still kicking ass. Like,
That's
when you were hitting those pads, you were looking damn good. And I know you miss your long, flowy range. She's got long, crazy, curly, flowy hair. But I mean, Maria, I do want to say you look very cool. I know the hair.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming back in. It's coming back in a lot now because
yeah,
I mean,
actually, yes. Look,
it. I mean, it looks like you did it this way on purpose.
Yeah.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, uh, you know, I'm so happy for you. I know for sure with your spirit and your determination, like there is nothing that's going to stop you, Maria. Like nothing. And when I saw you fight before, that is not, you know, that girl is going to be back. That's I have no doubt in that. I really do. I think so for sure.
I remember when the doctor told me, like, you know what, you had cancer. And I was like, no. But like, beside getting scared or sad, I was mad. I was like, no, 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 no. I want to fight. I want to be in the UFC. I have so many things to do. I've been working so hard for this. Now you can tell me I had cancer. And I even asked the doctor, like, it can be something else.
Yeah.
He was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But when they told me, sorry.
No, I believe it, Maria. I think it's a wonderful story. It's terrible that it happened to you. It's terrible that you're going through it, but I'm so happy that you've come out of it. I do want to say for people that are watching this podcast that are motivated or inspired by you, you know, from your story, maybe they're going through the same thing. Is there anything that you wanted to tell them for people to keep them positive?
Yes, and it doesn't matter how horrible the situation looks. If there is a hope, you have to fight with everything that you have for that hope. Because it's very important the attitude and all the work that you put on this. Because waking up and stand up from your bed, it's on you. Go to the gym, it's on you. Eat healthy, it's on you too. Take your pills. Okay, look for different options like vitamins, natural options, but everything that the doctor tells you that you're allowed to do it. It's on you, it's your responsibility. But if you pretend that the medicine it's magic, it's not. It's on you. And I've been telling the whole people because as a fighter, we're always thinking like we are immortal or nothing's gonna happen to me or let's train until the body pops like a popcorn. No, not anymore. And it's our responsibility to make our checkups once a year minimum. And if we feel something or any symptom, don't pretend that it's COVID, a flu, or something. Just go to the doctor and be sure that it's not something like what I had.
Right.
And yeah, and it doesn't matter how terrible everything looks. I think that at least you can learn something. I think cancer was the best and the worst thing that could happen to me because it makes me open my eyes and understand that the life it's a one-way trip. So I understand that I can waste my time and my life pretending that I'm gonna be happy until I get the championship. I'm gonna be happy until I get that car. I'm gonna be happy until I get that money. No. What if you never come back? We just waste our time. We have to be happy even just if we can open our eyes. We're allowed to go to the streets, walk, eat, see the sun. Because there is a moment that we're not be allowed to do it anymore, or we're not being capable to do it anymore. Like there's something in Mexico that we say like we used to be happy and we didn't know that, and that's what exactly happened to me. So this was the biggest lesson that I had. Thanks God, it's a cancer that had a cure, but it was the biggest lesson for me to understand that I have to, first of all, admire the person who I am, and second one, enjoy the life. Just enjoy the life. And yeah, chase my goals, but not being tough with me. Just chase my goal, but at the same time, enjoy the process.
Yeah, it's very true, Maria. And you speak so well to it too. Like you speak so eloquently and you speak so passionately about it. I know I say this to some other guests on the podcast as well, but like you definitely have a future in motivational speaking. Like when you think about people that you can inspire and children or adults, you know, like the way you speak and your experiences and who you are as a fighter, that's going to be something I really think you should think about is helping to speak to people when you're ready, you know?
You know what? I would love to do that. And actually, even trying to find some places like a TED Talk, I would love to do one.
Yes.
And I would like to find places in Mexico where I can talk about my story because I want to inspire people, but not only fighters. I think especially women too, or kids, or people that are struggling in something that there is always a light for us. Like there is nothing that you can fix except death. So I would love to share my story even since before cancer and during cancer and everything, because I want to touch as much hearts as I can with this story. I think something happened for a reason, and if I can share or help as the way as people have been helping me, it's something that I really want to do.
Yeah. Maria, I don't know do you know a fighter? She trains at Syndicate MMA. Her name is Ramona Carla.
Yes.
Do you know her? Ramona Pasquale. She did a TED.
For sure.
She did a TED Talk. Do you know?
No, I didn't know that.
She did a TED Talk. So I know that, you know, when you're in California or reach out to her if you know her, I'll send you her Instagram as well. But Ramona Pasquale, she did a TED Talk. So you should talk to her and see if maybe she knows who to get in touch with for that. Because
I'm going to ask her.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Rain, I know we're keeping Maria long. So is there anything that you want to ask her before I am going to ask her my last question?
Yeah. First of all, Maria, I'm just really thankful that you joined us here today. I love hearing your story. I really appreciate you sharing that story, your story with us, because it's very, very inspirational and empowering. And, you know, you've mentioned the MMA community, and I can tell that you're a positive person. You know, you know what? If I didn't hear your story, I wouldn't even know that you were going through this battle. Because I see the smile on your face and you have this genuine positive energy coming out from you. And I think that's really helped you a lot throughout this battle. You mentioned the MMA community helping you and a lot of people supporting you. Who has been the biggest rock for you?
Who was what? Sorry.
The biggest rock, like the biggest support system that you've had?
My mom. Definitely my mom and my brothers. Yeah, without them, like I don't know what I'll be doing, because since day one at the hospital, she was there for me. She was sleeping there. Even at the beginning, I was having a really bad attitude because I was trying to deal what was going on with me, and she was supporting me and my brothers too. They moved, they tried to cheer me up because, for example, the last past days I've been sad because honestly I wasn't feeling good.
Mhm.
And I was kind of sad because I get a little worried because I found a little like a little ball in my chest, but it was like I think it was kind of fat or something. But I started thinking like, what if it's a lymphoma? What if it comes back? Blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of scared and start to being depressed a little bit. I will not lie. But she's always like, hey, come on, get up, you can do it. I understand the way how you feel. And when we got to the government hospital, she's always like moving papers, talking here, talking there, knocking door here, knocking doors there. She's helping me with my appointments all the time, with the food. Without my mom and family, I don't know how I will handle this situation because it's something that at the beginning was bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you to your mom, because we're all so grateful for what she did, and for your brothers. How many brothers do you have?
I have two. My old brother, he's gonna be 32 in a few days, and my youngest sister, she's 28. I'm in the middle.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Maria, I have one question that I'm going to ask you, but before I do,
Yes.
is there anything that you wanted to say to people that are watching this podcast? I know I already asked you before about the positivity thing, but is there anything that you wanted to say before we let you go?
I wanna say to these new generations about don't get worried about stupid things, about followers, about TikToks, about how you look, about now I see the new generations right now, and I'm kind of sad and disappointed about it because they can't control any situation. They can't control any kind of stress. So what I want to say to the people is to understand that anything is not that bad how it looks. Just work on you, work in your mental health, and being focused on the reality about and the day and the now. And other thing what I want to say is if you see like somebody's in a bad situation, it doesn't matter if you can support the person with money. Just with that question like, hey, how you feel? Hey, how you are? Or you want to go for a walk? Or just even if you don't know that person, just to ask how you been or how you are, it can change. It can change the day of the person. Just get back on stopping that unselfish. So stop being selfish and being more conscious about the people. We are persons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maria, that is wise words from someone who now has gone through so much stuff. You realize the importance of life and you realize the importance of being happy. We talk about it all the time on this podcast, Rain, about like social media and how people are using it so weird. And Maria, that's why I said how important it was for you. And I was so happy that you were sharing your story on Instagram because it was something so different, right? It was something so positive and you were trying to inspire and motivate people. So I'm really happy for you. Maria, I do ask a question to all our guests. The last question I ask is something that my mom used to ask me almost every day growing up. And I want to ask it to you. And I know it's somewhat strange to ask you, I guess, but in seeing you here, I feel like it's good. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Oh, it's something hard because there is days that I'm a 5, there is a day that I'm a 10. For example, the last past day I was like a 3. Let's think about the 9 because I'm alive and I have a cure. But it's like a roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is how it is, right? For many of the people that we ask, they say that it just depends on the day and it's going, but I am so happy to hear that. Think about, where this journey began and that you're here today and saying that you have days where you're 9s or 10s, right? It's beautiful. Yes. So, Maria, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. I want to have you back on again later as well. Before your next fight, I definitely want to have you on, and we'll always talk to people about everything that you're doing. When your TED Talk comes out, I'm going to share that everywhere because that will be incredible. For now, we will cheer on your teammate, Sadibou C. He's going to go win another $1 million, right?
He will.
He's going to, for sure. His baby is coming soon. I think his baby is due any time now, I think. Do you know?
I didn't know he's going to have a baby, honestly.
You didn't know? Yeah.
No.
He's had,
yeah, I didn't know that.
He's having a baby soon, so you better get ready with a baby gift for little baby C. It's going to be his life is going up, and I know that you'll be there to cheer and support him. And Maria will always talk to our fans and listeners of the podcast about what's going on with you. And I should put it up on the bottom of the screen, and I'll leave it on for the rest of the podcast, Maria. But to reach you on Instagram or to follow you, it's at Majo.Favela MMA. So that is you. So make sure you go follow Maria and send her love and support her in all that she does. And Maria, we can't wait to see you back doing whatever it is that you do in life. I know you're going to be amazing at it.
Thanks so much. And hopefully, cross fingers, I want to be back into the cage at the beginning of the next year.
Amen.
Damn right, Maria. You're going to, and I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I can't wait to get back on your podcast before stepping into the cage.
That's right, for sure, Maria. Okay, take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Alrighty, that is Maria, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm so happy that we got to meet her.
I know.
Like, what a motivational, inspirational person. The whole time she's talking, I'm thinking, what part of this am I going to put online as like little clips of all these motivational things that she said and beautiful words that she spoke? It's so meaningful.
Meaningful, beautiful, inspirational, and very empowering, because she's right. Like, we are on a borrowed time, right? And sometimes we don't even realize that until like something, major happens to us. And then we realize, you know what? Life is short.
Yeah, it's something that I've talked about so many times because my mother and father both passed away, and when both of them passed away, you realize like how short time is and how you have to think about things and don't procrastinate and don't like. I loved what she said, like, oh, I'm only going to be happy when I get that car. I'm only going to be happy when I get this, right? Like, no, like just be happy today. I think that's such a strong message for what she's saying. It's 1,000,000%. I did want to ask, and the interview was just going so beautifully well. But I really want to know what her tattoos are. She's got those colored bands. You see those?
I know.
I really like that.
She said she's going to come back.
Well, there you go. We'll ask her. Yeah, we'll ask her that.
She's a friend of the show now, so she's definitely going to come back. So
exactly. Yeah.
Write that question down for the next time.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that Sean Strickland is a nice guy. I didn't tell her that Sean Strickland keeps challenging my friend Commander Dale to fight in the desert to the death, but that's fine. I'm sure he's still a nice guy, even though he wants to do that,
Oh, Maria actually said those are BJJ belts. She posted a comment in our chat.
Oh, they're the color of the jiu-jitsu belts.
Ah,
that
nice.
is genius. I love that. It looks so cool, I'm not cool enough to get that, and then I'd only have one white belt on me, so it would look terrible.
Don't even have any belts, so you're.
Well, there you go. So you've got that tattoo on you then already because you've got none. So
yeah, true.
I do want to say to those that are here at the podcast listening because of Maria, thank you so much. We had a wonderful time with her. I'm like, I assume it comes across, but I'm a huge fan of hers. Please follow and subscribe to us. We've got great podcasts every week. This is episode 137, I want to say, somewhere around there. So there's tons of podcasts that you can listen to. But I'll put some up at the end that I think that might be good ones to watch. Rain, we always talk about our friends of the podcast update. So I'm going to give a few things. And this podcast is really going to be all about positivity because the one friend of the podcast update that I want to mention is this girl here. She was a guest. She's an MMA fighter. She's Canadian. Her name is Alana Cook, the Alanimal. She is here on this picture. And she has an organization that she founded called Walking Like Warriors, and it's for Indigenous women specifically. And they do a whole bunch of things for their community and help women in the Indigenous community. And she provides self-defense training. And of course, because of how important it is for that community and the things that happen there, she was in this competition called Pow Wow Pitch. And I'll put it up again there. If it says it, I forget. No. Okay. Pow Wow Pitch. It's there. But she was in this competition. She made it to the semifinals and she had to do a live pitch, which I was watching in my phone in the car. And she did a fantastic job and she won the semifinals. And so now her organization is moving on to the finals. She won, I think, like $1,000. And it's this organization that's all meant to bring light to Indigenous communities and activities and whatnot. And it's like these fundraisers, and there are people there from MasterCard and Visa and all these banks. Like, this is a big thing. And she kicked ass, and her organization, which is so meaningful and incredible because of what she does, and she has such passion for it. They're moving on to the finals. So congratulations to Alana Cook. I'm so happy for her.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. She is the nicest person, Rain. I will get you to meet her one day. She'll come back for sure. I do want to say, Sean Strickland, goodness gracious, we talk about him all the time on the podcast. He's kind of like an anti-friend, right? Like, he's posted stuff about us because he was mad at us with the Commander Dale stuff. But hey, this dude, I knew he would do it. I made a lot of money, Rain. I'm very rich right now. You can't see, but I'm sitting in a yacht. I moved my thing. I'm just $1 million yacht that I bought because of Sean. I can't believe he won. It was incredible. It was fantastic. Rain, did you happen to see the fight?
Yeah.
Oh, you watched it? Yeah.
Yeah. I got to see the fight. And, I was just waiting for the ref to stop the fight in the first round.
That first round?
Yeah.
Can I say that I'm almost happy that he didn't?
Yeah, I was happy too that he did it.
Wait, why are you happy that he didn't?
Because to me, it's like, okay, I wanted to see more.
Right. And I didn't want someone to say, oh, it's a lucky punch. Oh, he got lucky. Because then he goes on to win 4 of the 5 rounds. All 3 judges score it that way. The whole world was scoring it that way. Like, there's no debate about this. He is definitely the middleweight champion of the world. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. And can I say that the way he was fighting was so beautiful? And I'm going to call out my friend. There's a guy, Jackson, that he's been a co-host on this before. I train with him. He fights just like Sean Strickland does. And it's the worst thing in the world, Rain. He just keeps walking towards you. And you're like, can you just back off for a second? Like, dude, I just want to shake my arm for a second. Like, you have no time. It was just that constant pressure. And I'm watching it. And then I was tweeting about it. Going into the 5th round, I'm sweating at home. I'm stressing for Sean. I'm like, holy God, he's going to do it. I'm sweating. And then the camera shows Sean and he's just there. Like, no sweat, no
big deal.
Yeah. Like just another day at the office, like no emotion, nothing. Just an incredible performance. Like, beautiful, beautiful. Were the people that you were watching with, were they cheering? Were they booing? Were they was it incredible? What was the vibe?
The vibe was, we actually thought that, it would end in round 1. And we were all like, the ref almost called it. But throughout the rest of the fight, we're all like, yeah, Sean had won this. So, if everyone's really excited to see Sean win, I guess it's the formality at that point, because we're all like, yeah, he got this.
And then to see the way he responded, I thought it was beautiful because he was kind of crying a little bit, almost kind of tearing up, and he's just very personable. And I've told people, since that day that I saw him say that, that dedicated that fight to Maria, I was like, no, this guy's a good dude. He's crazy, and he self-admits that he's crazy, but he's a good dude. And like Maria talked about, the fight community is so close and so tight knit, and these people care about one another. I'm just like, nah, this guy, he's a good dude. So I'm very, very happy for him.
And he thanked the fans too. he's
Thank
like
the fans.
during his post-fight interview.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
Because maybe for him it was obviously he was kind of like in a different environment. I don't want to say like enemy's territory, but like it was not in the United States. But
yeah.
But, it was nice that he acknowledged the fans too, because I think it really motivated him, to really do well in this fight.
Yeah. Now, the question is, of course, does he get an immediate rematch? And I want to see what you have to say.
I don't know. Maybe wait till after a few months. Like when you say immediate.
Well,
like,
no. I mean, but I mean, should he be the next guy to fight for the title?
I guess so. I mean, he stepped up to this fight. What? Like when did he replace Izzy's? Because he wasn't originally going to be Izzy's opponent, right?
No, because I don't think the UFC wanted to give this guy the shot. Yeah. Right? Like they wanted someone else and whatever. Because I think they thought Sean's going to get whooped. Mm-hmm, so why would we put this dude up here to get whooped? He's right. But then they give it to him, and then lo and behold,
then he wins the fight.
Yeah. Because Rain, the thing is now is Israel Adesanya has lost 2 of his last 3. And this one was not in dispute. It was a whooping, right? I don't think he gets I don't think he deserves a rematch.
No,
I think you've lost 2 of your last 3. I think take another fight, and let's see Sean fight someone else. I think it would be nice.
Yeah, I feel like Izzy needs to take a break too, because I feel like you can't just like be like in a main event all the time. I mean, if he is selling tickets, great. But for me personally, I think he needs to take a step back. And a lot of people have seen him fight. I feel like fighters have learned his style, have watched his footage, and so they know his number right now. So maybe if he takes a step back, if Izzy takes a step back, it's a great opportunity for him to kind of improve his skills again, maybe have some more tricks in his bag. And then when he comes back again, it's going to be like a whole new Izzy, right? And then for Sean, I feel like this is like a good time for him because he has proven that, hey, I'm a great fighter too. So whoever wants to step up, like bring it.
I know, that's it. I think so. I think it would be good to see some new fresh blood at the top. Mm-hmm. And I also think, like you said, like if Sean fights Izzy again and the pay-per-view sells really well, they're going to say, oh, it's because everybody loves Izzy. They're buying the pay-per-view for Izzy. But if you have Sean fight someone else, now it's like, okay, we've got to attribute the sales to at least the champion. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think Sean sells well. I think Sean
so too.
I think he's got that Stone Cold Steve Austin anti-hero kind of vibe that I think people are buying into, And so below the bottom, if you're only on audio, you're not going to see it, but I've got the label here, Sean for president. Remember, we asked Garrett Armfield last week, is Sean going to beat Izzy or become president? I mean, he's already got the championship now. I think Sean becomes president of the United States. That's my next prediction, right?
I think so too.
Yeah, good. Make it happen, Sean. Just put your name on the ballot. You're going to be president. Maybe not 2024, but sometime in the future, this guy is going to be the American president. I'm telling you. What else do we got going on today? There was friends of the podcast update. There's a guy you may know. His name is Timmy B. He runs this podcast.
Timmy B.
Yeah. So I did want to say shout out to Derek Clark, who we had on the podcast. He runs FLA Fight League Atlantic. So we talked about on the podcast that, maybe I'm going to go out there for their card September 30th. Turns out I am going out. So I booked everything. It's all set and done. I don't know 1,000,000% what I'm doing for Fight League Atlantic. I think hopefully I get to call some fights. Hopefully I get to do some interviews, some stuff. For Fight League Atlantic. I don't want this to be at all Fight Insight stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go down there and be like, hey, for Fight Insight, here's an interview. I want to do it for Fight League Atlantic. I want to be part of the Fight League Atlantic family. But I'm very, very excited. So I'm going to be down there actually for the BJJ event, Kumite 5 on the Friday night. I'll be there for the weigh-ins on the Friday. I'll be there for the event on the Friday night. And then Saturday, I will be there for the MMA event. I'm excited.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah, it's going to be busy.
Opportunity. A good
Do you
kind
know-
of busy.
Do you know it also costs $1 million for me to fly into Atlanta? It's crazy.
Well,
The
good
flight for
thing you
this.
won $1 million from.
I know. I'll have to sell this yacht that I'm floating
Right.
in. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited. So I'll keep you guys up to date. And hopefully this begins my lifelong career as a whatever, MMA commentator or something. I just
Congratulations, by the
Yeah,
way. Because
I'm
that's a great, accomplishment. And,
yeah,
super grateful to FLA for giving you this opportunity.
I know. I'm really excited. I'm excited for it. Thank you to my wife for letting me go. I'm going to leave her with the cats and she'll manage them. But I'm really excited to go and see it and get the opportunity and be at a live event like that. He hasn't announced his big news yet, but I'm hoping that's coming. So, everything works out. And I told Derek, I go, look, you get me to do whatever you want me to do because I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to really try to impress you here because I want to be good. Now, Rain, here's the question for you. I'm going to Atlantic Canada. Do you know what that means when I say Atlantic Canada? Like East Coast? Okay.
No, I live in Ontario, California.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
I have no idea what Atlantic Canada is.
Okay. Atlantic Canada is, and for those listening that have no clue, it is East Coast Canada. It's like Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. It is like small town boating communities, like fishing communities, like a fishing town. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching a movie. Did you ever watch like the Marvel movies where Thor lives in that town now? Like, and they're just like on the fisheries and stuff? No?
People are going to be mad at me. No.
All right, whatever. That's fine. Rain, what do I wear to this event?
Well,
like, what do you do? Right? Like, I don't know. That's why I got to talk to Derek. I'm like, what is the...
Wait, if you're going to be a commentator, I highly suggest, honestly, what you're wearing right now, I feel like it works. You have like a suit.
Yeah, but I can't have a logoed shirt. So I would
don't do the
like a suit with a t-shirt.
Yeah, is it going to be hot or cold where you're going? Because you also want to be comfortable.
It'll be chilly in general because it's on the water and it's in late September. So I'm assuming it's kind of chilly. If you've got an idea on what I should wear, leave it in the comments, please. But I'm thinking like a suit jacket with like a t-shirt, but I don't want it to look too stupid. But I don't want to go full suit. I feel full suit might be too much.
Yeah, well, just like a nice t-shirt underneath, I think would look good.
Yeah, like a Hello Kitty t-shirt. Maybe?
Like a Hello Kitty t-shirt. Yeah. I'll send you one. I think I have one that fits you.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll trim down. Yeah, I gotta see. But so that's right now, that's my biggest worry.
Okay.
Right?
But for sure, like a suit jacket, I think that's like,
Now, do I wear matching suit pants? Or do I wear jeans on the bottom? You know what I mean? Like how...
You're going to be a commentator, right?
I think. At the very worst, I think I'm doing interviews with people. So maybe you won't see the bottom. I don't know.
You might still see the bottom, but I feel like, the way I see it, the way I plan like my outfits for events is like I want to be unique, right? I don't want to look like everybody else because then if someone says, hey, go to Rain, who is Rain? Oh, Rain is the girl who's like wearing this. Oh, okay. That's easy to find her. Right? Yeah. And given that this is going to be your first event, I feel like you kind of want to have that look wherein it's like you kind of stand out, but not like, clowny stand out. Like, don't be a clown. Don't look like a clown. But, have a unique look. That way, when someone says, hey, this is Timmy B, he's new to FLA. And then you'll be like, oh, okay.
It is very likely that I will be the only individual that is Asian there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it is very, very white.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right though. I want to look different. That's why I feel like a little bit of a suit, maybe something with a pattern, not a crazy pattern, but like, stripes or checkers or something. Like I don't feel like it can just be a plain jacket. Like I feel like it's got to be something. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But anyways, that is my big news. I'm very excited for that. Sorry to bother you with this. Yeah, I really hope so. keep a ticket on standby, Rain, if I can poison their ring announcer.
No, oh my God.
You know what I mean? He'll start to get an itchy cough, and I'll be like, "Oh, I know a girl.
my God.
She's getting on a plane right now. Actually, I got Rain Cruz in the back." So yeah, but we'll see. So I'm very excited. So September 30th. Next week on the podcast, I don't know who we're going to get, Rain. I had someone that I thought was lined up, and they're kind of ghosting me right now, so I'm not too sure. But if not, then I'm hoping to get a Fight League Atlantic fighter. There is one guy. His name is Ben Leese, Big Ben Leese.
Okay.
And he seems like a very interesting dude. So I'm going to get him on the podcast for sure. He's fighting on September 30th. So whether I was going to get him next week or the week after, the week of the fights, either way, I was going to get this dude on. So we'll go for that. I don't know who we're going to see, but we'll get somebody good for the show. And Rain, this podcast has all been about positivity.
I love it.
Yeah. Should I leave my last bad stuff for next week then?
We can save it for next week.
There was a game I was going to play with you, Rain. I don't know. I'll just leave this here as a bit of a teaser, okay? But did you hear about all the bad words that were said on the
During
UFC
what?
card?
The
post-fight interview? Did you hear about that? No.
During which post-fight interview?
It was like the early prelims. So
no, I didn't. No.
Okay,
No.
and then another guy said it later.
Oh, no.
So I will leave the fans, viewers, and listeners with this. There's a guy at the early prelims, American guy, goes to Australia to fight an Australian. I guess the crowd was probably booing him or whatever. He wins in great fashion. Daniel Cormier walks in, Rain. Great fight, Radke, or whatever his name is. Great fight. What do you have to say? He goes to the fighter and he goes, "This crowd is a bunch of idiots, you stupid beep," says a bad word, and goes, "I hate you all." And then
Oh my God.
Daniel Cormier, because of the word that I'm bleeping out, goes, "All right, thanks very much." And then he just walks off. And then the guy goes on to then immediately post on his social media, "Hey, I'm sorry for saying that. Shouldn't have said that, blah, blah, blah." Then they asked Dana White, "Hey, did you tell this guy to say sorry?" And Dana White's like, "No, I don't give a crap what these people say," right? Which is consistent with what Dana White says, right? So the game I wanted to play with you, Rain, is I was going to say a bunch of bad words and you will list them in order of which one you think is worst. Right? Which one is the worst? And then where's the line at which, okay, we can say these bad words, but not these bad words.
When you're saying we can say these bad words on TV?
On TV.
Or during an interview. Okay.
No. Wait. What's the difference?
Well, because there's bad words that people say in general, but there's also.
But that's what I
bad
mean.
words. Yeah.
You can say, you can say damn. You can say damn. You can say ass. You can say shit. Shit is pretty, children say it now, Rain.
Yeah.
Right? There's levels of words,
Yeah.
So do some homework, Rain. I want you to
we'll
come.
do some homework.
I want you to come with all the worst words you can say. And we're going to put them in order.
Listen, I know I was watching the fight on Saturday and I've heard some bad words during the when the fighters are in their corners.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you hear them getting motivated. And I remember watching, I don't even know if it was a main event, but I just remember having a reaction what? Why are they turning the mic on when these people are saying these words?
Because it's live. What are you going to do?
It is live. Yes, I do understand it. It is live and it's a pay-per-view and there is limitations. Obviously if it's just on regular network TV,
ESPN.
they will probably they will bleep that.
But some words they don't bleep though.
Correct, because there's different guidelines. I feel for pay-per-views, they don't even really the censorship is not as strict as if it's just on a regular broadcast, right?
Yeah.
But I was just what if a kid is watching this? And that's always my mindset.
That's the thing, right? Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, so and I had a very nice video that I was going to play to set this up. So I'll play it here. I've played it on the podcast before, maybe a few times, but here was going to be my intro to the game we were going to play. Ready, Rain? Here we go. Here it is.
It's time for Is It Racing?
Good old Tosh.0. So yeah, because some of the words are like racist words and some of the words are like blah, blah, blah. And some are just like good old regular swear words. But yeah, Rain, apparently there's, people get really upset at some are okay. So, you're a 7-time Emmy Award winner. Right?
Yes.
So, you know the stuff, right?
Believe me, like in my day job, I've had to like bleep out, some words here and there,
Yeah. Well, there you go. Wait, do you have a list that you have to bleep out, or is it at your
I
discretion?
don't have a list of so I guess that's the background for our listeners. I work in live TV production, just so it'll make more sense, right? I work in live TV production, and part of my job, or part of our job for our show, is to cover post-game interviews, and sometimes players would get like,
of course,
too excited, and they'll talk, and then drop some profanity, right? And then my producer, if we have time, will ask me, "Hey, what time did he say this word?" Or, "Rain, can you like fix this within 10 seconds?" Great.
So wait, I know we're running out of time here, but has your producer, and I'm not, no shade on the guy or anything, but has he ever said like, "Oh, when did he say this word?" And you're like, "That's not a bad word." Like, did he ever go like, "When did he say but?" And you're like,
"Oh."
You're like, really? We're going to bleep out?
Actually, I've gotten that question. Like, when did he say, "Oh, did you hear that?" Sometimes it starts with that. "Did you hear that?" And then I would go back and then sometimes I would ask, "What word?" And then he'll tell me, "I think he said this." And then I'll try to look for that word.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, even though I question it myself, like, "Wait, what? That's a bad word." I feel like, to me, it's like it's my producer's, discretion.
Yeah, of course. No, of course. Can you say that? Can you say the word that you thought was not that bad that he wanted
honestly,
out?
For the most part, no, I think that mostly when I thought it wasn't a bad word, it's like I just needed to listen again, and then I realized, he did say, shit, and we have to like bleep that. So, but yeah, for the most part, like the words that I had to at least, bleep, it's mostly, actual, bad words. So
the ones we all know.
The ones that we all know. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Because to Maria's point, the world today is getting worse, right? Or like, what was she saying? Like kids on Instagram and whatever, right? Like things are getting worse. We talked about it last week about what people are posting and stuff like that. So sometimes like the words people seem to be using are like, "Oh, this is all okay now? Like what the hell's going on?" know? But, let's keep it positive. So Rain, keep those dirty words to yourself for now. We'll do it on a worse day. We'll do it on a worse day. Before we end off, is there anything that you wanted to say or anything that you wanted to shout out or anything like that?
I just want to say thank you again to Maria. It's really, really nice to have her on our show. I was just like mesmerized, like listening to like what she was saying. It's very inspiring. And I can see her like doing a TED Talk, one of these days, just to inspire a lot of people with her story. And I'm calling out Sean Strickland to be on the Fight Inside podcast.
Yeah. Where are you, Sean?
Yeah. Where are you, Sean?
Yeah. Let's go, Sean. Let's go. Do you know how much I've interacted with that dude online when the stuff with Commander Dale happened and other stuff? I was fighting with him on something else too. I forget. We were going back and forth online and I was like, "Come on the podcast and let's talk about it." He is way too famous for me now and way too popular. So we will never get him, Rain. But one day, I hope, maybe he'll be at Fight League Atlantic cornering someone.
Maybe
I don't
be
know.
watching that.
All right, we're going to end the podcast here. If you're on audio, we're going to end it. If you're on video, I'm going to throw up a couple videos here that I think that you should be watching if you like this one. But yeah, Maria, such a wonderful person. I felt like I was going to tear up a little bit when she was saying something.
I was holding it, actually.
Me too. I felt like if she keeps going with this, I'm going to start tearing up, right? Because it is a very sensitive subject. It's a very emotional subject for me specifically, with my mom and stuff like that. So it is incredible to have her here. I'm so happy. I could end this podcast and never do another podcast, and I would be happy. Like, that kind of interview and that kind of positivity and stuff like that is so meaningful to me. So I'm very, very happy. Rain, thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we'll do something. I don't know what we're going to do, but hopefully you're here. And, wait, this one's going out Thursday. My anniversary is coming out. So, honey, happy anniversary. So,
happy anniversary.
So, happy anniversary, honey. And I will see everybody next week with my good friend, Rain. Thank you, Rain. Have a good one.
Thank you as well.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.